On a clear and quiet night, while Baek was sleeping, a certain memory swept through his mind like a wave. "Mom, I'm going to be a magic when I grow up." This was Baek Yuseol's memory. In the world where everything was decided by magic, non-magicians had no choice but to live as the lowest class. Baek's family was pitiful. Born and raised by Ivani and his father, who could not learn magic, Baek dreamed of becoming wizard amidst poverty. His parents somehow saved enough money and bought him an expensive second-hand magic book, and he devoted himself to studying. However, a fatal flaw was found in him. His body leaks mana. Baek woke up holding his head in severe pain. The red-haired person told him, "You're up? I was just about to wake you. We're going to arrive in Lezoicha, the satellite city of Arcanium, soon." They stopped in the middle of the road to rest. Baek turned to greet the grey-robed girl, but she ignored him coldly. Baek said, "That's cold, but things are going fine, considering how weird I was. I am glad that timeline is close to modern times rather than the Middle Ages. Magic exists in Aether World, but safe cities, trains and flying ships as well as warp holes are set up to make long-distance travel convenient. We are going to Lezoicha right now to get on Flying Ship 2. Lezoicha lies on the router to Arcanium, and the real episode beings in Arcanium, the city of magic. There are Rendwund magic towers, as well as magic night orders, and 5 Rendwund academies Arcanium, and the academy with the most powerful mages, as well as most excelling students, is Stella Academy. Because of that, Stella is full of geniuses and nobles from all over the world. I still don't understand how Baek managed to get admission into that place. I haven't checked out my skills yet. Mana leakage syndrome, strength 0.3% increase, agility 0.5% increase, sensitive 10% increase. Sixth sense, consumes that user's mind power to activate. Detect mana within a 10m radius and activate detention acceleration. Automatically activates when danger is detected. Sixth sense and detection acceleration. I would already be dead if it weren't for these two. A cursed physique that stops me from accumulating mana within the body. Mana leakage syndrome. It is a kind of inherent curse that Baek Yuseol has. However, this allowed him to detect mana around him with his sixth sense. It also allowed him to sense any attacks coming toward him, even if he is not looking in that direction. Detection acceleration allowed him to sense things as if time had been slowed down if there was a threat or attack coming toward him faster than the speed at which a human could detect. It's a necessary skill for Baek Yuseol, since he can't use mana, but he can't use sixth sense for long. It uses up a lot of mind power, so it has pretty huge consequences after usage. Next up are stats. Baek Yuseol stat strength, 59% sensitivity. 1 star, 97%. Agility, 1 star, 81%. Stamina, 1 star, 51%. Endurance, 0 star, 97%. Mind power, 1 star, 43%. Mana, 0 remaining exp, 10. Skills, blink level, 0 traits. Mana leakage syndrome, level 1+. That's actually not bad for starting stats. The original Baek Yuseol had really low sensitivity, but it seems like it took a part of the stats of the character I had fostered Baek Yuseol into. In Aether World, there isn't just one level, but one for each stat. Skills are in the form of levels, and the stats in stars. The maximum stat level is 9 stars, but that is essentially impossible to reach. I played this game for over 10 years, but the highest I managed to reach was 8 stars in both stamina and sensitivity. But I should invest into sensitivity for now to boost sixth sense and my reaction speed. I can raise stamina and flexibility through other means after all. Sensitivity, 1 star, 97% stamina. 1 star, 51% mind power. That's done. Now is the mana leakage syndrome. If I don't train this, I won't be able to survive for long. I need to upgrade it to Secrets of Nature Physique as soon as possible. The way to reinforce mana leakage syndrome is within Stella Academy. That means I have no choice but go to Stella. If I want to stop the end of the world and treat my syndrome, I already don't want to go. I wish I had something to help me out here. After the rest period was over, they had to continue moving. After arriving in the city, Baek boarded a ship-shaped airship. Most of the passengers on board were students from elite families who came to enter the Stella Academy. Some students said, "Hey, look at that dude looking around like some lost little kid. Has he never been on a flying ship before? He must be some country bumpkin. I don't get why Stella has to allow peasants in. It's supposed to be the most renowned in the world. They're sullying the waters with these lowly folks." Since he has sensitive hearing, he was able to catch all the sounds he heard around him. Then he sighed and said, "Wherever the kids go, it's like that." Then he ignored them. That student said while he was angry, "Did you just sigh at us? Hey, you stop over there." The heir to Baron Dennington suddenly shut his mouth. Amidst the calm atmosphere, a girl appeared. Then the scattered silver hair contains elegance, and the red eyes, which are darker than blood, seemed to be sucked in the moment they met, blurring everything around them. Just she looked and passed, with contemptuous eyes. With that, the situation was brought to an end lightly. Baek said, "So she's this world's villainess. Hong Bi-yeon is one of the main characters of this game. She and the main female protagonist always have arguments. She dies in the end, no matter what route you choose to take. She's brutally murdered in some endings, and in others, she's bullied by the entire academy before getting expelled. In one, she goes through something so shameful she never appears in front of the public again. It's as if the developers had personal resentments and wanted her to suffer no matter what. I did hear that she's really popular amongst the male players, but she sure is pretty. I feel like she'll kill me if I talk to her. Maybe I should eat something." There were convenience stores in the cabin. The price was high for him. Then he decided and said, "Why is everything so expensive? I'll just eat once we get to Arcanium." Meanwhile, a voice was heard saying, "An announcement for everyone. We will be arriving in Arcanium in 10 minutes. Please make your way to the first floor." Beck got excited and said, "Is it finally starting? Well, either way, this right here is my reality now. Let's do this." While he was on his way to the academy, he was in a gloomy mood when a message suddenly appeared in front of his eyes. "The Constellation Project presents a special reward for you. A downgraded version of an item used in-game. A downgraded version of skill acquired in-game. Experience points." Baek said, "It seems those system lots have at least some commercial ethics. Let's see, what should I pick? Could I perhaps take Returning Light or Prius of the Flash?" Baek told the system, "Is it possible to get my Halo Flash?" The system response, "As a result of the search, the item's grade is too high and will be severely downgraded." What about Hyperspace Blink? The system response, "As a result of the search, the skill is an advanced version of the Blink skill and cannot be acquired. However, you can use the reward to enhance the Blink skill slightly." Baek said with an annoyed expression on his face, "Do you really have to downgrade?" The system response, "Due to the lack of your narrative power, we are also unable to materialize fully." Baek asked, "What is that?" The system response, "The force that drives the progression of the story is called narrative power. If you continue to explore unknown branches of the story like yesterday, it will accumulate." Beck said silently, "So in short, you can't provide me with late-game items because I'm too much of a newbie." Baek said to the system, "What about bulbul glasses?" The system response, "According to the system examination, we have concluded that it can be provided." Then Baek said, "All right, I'll go with that then." And he said too, "I never thought a day would come when I'd actually wear this thing." Bulbul glasses is an item that contains all the information that I've collected while playing the game. In Aether World, it was impossible to recall and read information about hunted monsters or acquired knowledge. So, players developed various items to store information in their own way, and I too did. Bulbul glasses. Grade, not found. Description, can't recall yesterday's dinner menu? Worry no more, because these glasses remember every piece of knowledge you've seen. Special features, Bulbul folder. Seal, consumes mind power to activate. When he puts on the glasses, a slew of information folders appeared. Alchemy, materials, hunting, grounds, dungeons, monsters, and characters. Baek said, "All right, this is good enough. Since this place is indeed real life, there's no way for me to tell how much grinding I could do using the game system. But with these glasses, I should be able to regain half of the ability I used to have." Baek heard someone say, "Isn't that Izel?" Someone answered, "You mean the traitor Dutch Mulf's eldest daughter. How dare she show her face here?" Baek said, "Izel? A familiar name." Baek looked in the direction the students were looking. She, like an angel, had sky-blue hair and a beautiful, noble appearance as if blessed by God. With that appearance, the child who refused to let the public approach her seemed to be certainly familiar to him. But he couldn't recall why. He hurriedly took out the glasses and checked the information. Izel Morph. Salty mistress. Master of Suncoal. Eats pizza and drinks pickle broth. Eldest daughter of Grand Duke Morph. Father is dead and the family is in ruins. Dies later on. With a surprised expression on his face, he said, "So she's that fake heroine?" And said too, to explain Izel, the fake heroine, "There is one thing I have to point out. Although the place I'm currently in is a game called Aether World, the fact is, Aether World is a game based on the original romance fantasy novel Don't Love the Princess. And that novel is about the heroine Izel, who had lost her entire family. She grows by confronting the schemes of the villainous Hong Bi-yeon and eventually ends up with the male protagonist. In the end, her revenge scheme completely disappears and the male characters protect her. It had a sad ending after receiving harsh feedback from its readers. But the problem is that although the game's world is based off the novel, the story is completely different. In the game, an original character named Flame was added, who took over the role of the heroine. Furthermore, this character named Flame had a backstory. It was that she was a woman living an ordinary life in the modern world who regularly enjoyed reading Don't Love the Princess and was transported to this world. So, unlike the novel, Izel became the fake heroine in the game, while Flame became the real heroine. Despite many players' numerous attempts and efforts, it is said that she was not able to survive in any routes, which resulted in her getting pushed away from the real heroine position. Well, it's got nothing to do with me. I feel like I've seen her somewhere before. Baek arrived at the academy. He noticed over 1,000 students lined up in the 5 columns wearing Stella Academy high school uniforms with a black base and gold border decorations. An elderly man stood on the podium, spitting saliva and speaking passionately and saying, "The dark demonic humans are the mages who have embraced the otherworldly powers and transformed into monsters." Even at this moment, dark demonic humans continue their invasion by opening persona gates or liberating ancient dungeons to encroach upon the magical world from the back world. Our destiny as mages is to protect the world from the forces of darkness. And next up, we will have the oath ceremony for the 4 students who were admitted with high scores, as well as the freshman representative. Students, please come up to the podium. The freshman representative and the students ranked 2nd through 5th went up to the podium. They were Haiwon Ryang, Izel, Full Frame, and Hong Bi-yeon, respectively. Baek said, "Everyone's faces are shining, fitting their position as main characters. However, the brightest one among here is obviously freshman representative, Massachusetts, Yuseong. Ma Yuseong, he's the character that best fits the phrase. Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one. With a mana status of 9 stars, possessing potential close to the realm of deities, he's a natural genius among geniuses who can control all the elements in this world." Baek said, "Even if I can't reach the true ending, I must at least aim to avoid the bad endings by bringing Ma Yuseong to the good side." He shifted his gaze to find the girl known as Full Frame. A short girl was looking around calmly. Baek said, "That's completely up to Flame. But it depends on how she acts from here on. Since she's also from the same reality as me, it may be a good idea to get along with her, but things will get complicated if she considers me an enemy and I face a rejection. Since I have the upper hand in terms of information, I shouldn't have to risk anything. Flame is a romance fantasy novel possessor, and I am a romance fantasy game possessor. Furthermore, the heroine possesses the special ability to cleanse the dark demonic humans. But aside from that, she even has an ability that enables her to impoverish those around her." With a worried expression, Baek said, "Being around her is going to surely affect me too. My role is to support the main characters from afar, and to not get involved with them as much as possible." With that, we will conclude the entrance ceremony. The entrance ceremony concludes. Cheers erupted after the entrance ceremony was completed. Meanwhile, I finished the opening ceremony by watching the main characters. Episode 2, Enter Stella Academy, is over.
お前はもう死んでいる。